Hello, IS5 got its final update and now we have a 5th ending. I've been trying to do 3 endings together, ending 2, ending 4 and ending 5 for the last 3 days on stream. Today I got pretty close, but I failed to get the other ending requirements because I greeded and I wanted to get all 4 boss keys. After the stream I saved the seed, took the L and then only consumed 3 boss keys, like a peasant, and now we have all the ending requirements. I'll post the full run showing off what items we got and how we path through it, but for now I'll just pause the boss fights and go to sleep. Starting with the ending 2 boss fight. Sadly I couldn't find rolling ancestors, otherwise I would have thrown that in as well. And in this fight we don't actually have the ending 5 item. It's still a fault in our inventory, so we don't get the debuff from it. The only real difference here is that the boats are really fucking annoying, and that Theresis has way more health. The health doesn't really matter that much, but the boats are a pain in the ass. You need to commit an operator to kill them, and because they're insanely tanky, you need to commit a good DPS operator, hence why Mei is there. She's in the corner, so if the tiles around her are covered by necrosis, she can preserve her skill and still do damage. The first phase really doesn't matter much in this fight, so I'm mostly just throwing random operators and waiting for Theresis to die. And then once he's dead, we'll try to pull him away from Teresa with rope and DPS as much as we can. We don't actually have any weight reducing items, so rope can't properly pull him. But even if you move him just a little bit, it's still going to increase the damage he can take several times over. So even if you just move him half a tile, that's absolutely worth it, even though it looks lame. Luckily for me I have a bunch of lives, so I can fuck up and leak random enemies. The stupid part is that I had chestnut in my school anyhow, so I could have just put pinecone and chestnut on the left, and then I wouldn't have leaked anyway. But I was playing this at about 3 AM, so I completely zoned out on what my medics do. You can see the trope just barely moves the guy, but moving him a few centimeters is all we need. Because he gains damage reduction when he's close to Teresa, the fucking Syscon. And if we move him a little bit, he loses a large percentage of the damage reduction. Naturally, he's constantly covered by necrosis fields. If you can pull him all the way to rope style, the fight will end almost immediately, because he loses almost his entire damage reduction. Imagine reducing his health by a factor of 10, that's basically what happens if you can pull him far away enough. Anyhow, since we didn't get any weight reducing items, we end up killing him very slowly. And because I was too stupid to bring chestnut, we end up leaking a few enemies. Because if I had chestnut, pinecone would have 100% uptime on her skill, since we have a bunch of extra SP. But when she gets necrosis, she can't use her skill, and then a few enemies can sneak through. No big deal though, we have a ton of lives. I'm gonna be honest, I think this was the hardest fight of the 3. It's because I still don't have a super ingot pile for attack speed. That's definitely a factor as well. And I also... this is the fight I gave the least thought to. If I set up something to properly DPS the trash mobs on the left, the fight could be way simpler. Luckily for me, this is an incredibly overfed run, so even with my skill issues, we can just DPS down Theresis and end the fight. Let's move on to ending 4 now. Since our last fight, I've gone through 2 more shops, robbed one of them, and now we have slightly more health and damage than before. This is the fight I know how to do the most out of the 3, since it's the one I actually bothered to do a proper video on. I was fairly confident I'd stop it pretty easily. Chestnut is here just to remove the healing things. They technically debuff your damage a bit on one operator if you don't remove them. The bigger deal is that the boss gets a damage reduction, so it's best to heal them so they can't be annoying. Something I want to point out, if you don't have experience with this fight, is that the enemy damage is insanely high. It's not really noticeable, because my operators all have at minimum 10,000 or more health, with most of them being in the 20-30,000 range. But most of the ranged enemies here hit for something like 5,000 damage. So if you don't have any health increasing items, getting shot by casters is not an option at all. It makes the stage way harder to deal with. Now, the stats I have are extremely overkill, to be fair. But I haven't played Ending 5 on CN. I didn't know what to expect and I wanted to adequately prepare so I don't have to repeat it once I actually get to it. I have a video going into more detail on the fight, but basically, once you do 25% of the boss's health, he stops moving, becomes invulnerable, spawns a stupid boat, and you need to put your operators in the stupid boat. That will be relevant for the second phase. It's important not to accidentally kill the stupid boat. Jaya only has 33,000 health. I wonder how much Quartz would have. I should have brought her to this fight too.
Understood.
I had to go on 1x speed for a bit because I got a ton of frame drops. Probably because my computer has been running all day. Wonder what I was doing all that time. Yeah, I was just playing Arc Knights. Tragic, I know. Once we slowly kill the boss who's incapable of moving, and we get rid of all of his boats, we just need to DPS him in the second phase. Because for the second phase you just bring a few snipers, and the boss just AFKs, without any iframe bullshit so you can shoot him. From here the waves just repeat, it's a wave of casters, a wave of monkeys, caster, monkey, caster, monkey. And once you bring down the boss health to 0, he will properly fuck off. Blows up the entire stage. Any operator that isn't in the boat is permanently banned from use. Just make sure you have 99 DP, and then whatever few operators you've brought in the second phase are all you need. Ideally you should bring a medic too, because he still spawns the stupid orbs here, and if you don't heal them he gets damage reduction. Jaya is a medic, don't you know? And damage numbers. Shockingly, the boss was actually able to move. It really surprised me. Finally, we get to Ending 5. I went into this fight mostly blindly. I've seen it once on CN, but beyond that I didn't bother to prepare too much. Here's what I know. You see those orbs that move around? Your operators and the enemies are all locked in these black pillars. When the orbs touch them, they break the pillars. If you deploy an operator, they're invulnerable until the orb touches them, but they also can't do anything. Summons kind of have a trick past that, because once you deploy them, they can still deploy their summons. You don't have to wait for the orb. And we have Ami at the back as the boss. Since I'm playing on the highest difficulties, we gain some extra boss spawns here. You don't normally have Patrick and the Ending 4 boss, unless you deliberately go on the highest difficulty. I'd say you might as well just do it on the highest difficulty, it's not that much harder. And then you can flex on people, saying, oh, look how skilled I am. I killed 2 stat sticks that go along with the boss. Oh yeah, Quartz is here, let's see how much health she has. No, in case you missed it, that was about almost 60,000 health. Did not last very long, tragically. And now the stage is blacking out all of a sudden. This is basically Amiya's gimmick. After 2 minutes, the timer is longer if you're playing on lower difficulties. That's the actual meaningful difficulty difference. She blocks out the entire stage like this. Any enemy that this eats will deduct from your life points. So you want to kill the enemies before she kills them. She will do this again in this stage, unless you have killed her in the first stage, then she'll wait around a bit before doing it. Again we have a 2-minute timer, and then she'll nuke everything. So the real goal here isn't so much to damage Amiya, it's to kill the things coming out of the pillars before she can steal all of your lives. To be fair, there's only 60 enemies, not counting Amiya. You can absolutely just enter this fight with 70 lives or something, and not give a shit about the normal enemies at all. As for the enemies, it's mostly Sarkaz casters of all sorts, and some bosses mixed in. Bosses don't repeat, but I think they're all Sarkaz bosses without exception. Yeah, we have Teresis, Manfred here. You have the cannon here to kill Manfred, which is absolutely impossible to charge. Go, Quartz, go! I just brought her on a whim, not sure if she's good for this fight. I know Amiya has 50% damage reduction and the item gives another 20% damage reduction. I assume those stack multiplicatively, which means she has 60% actual damage reduction from physical and arts. That might sound like you should use true damage, but honestly 60% damage reduction isn't that much. A decent chunk of your damage is gonna still go through, so you can just treat it as a health multiplier for all you care. Quartz brought her to 50% health, so now she gets to eat the stage. Anything we haven't killed steals some of her lives. I could have lost a lot less lives if I killed her a bit slower, but I really wanted to smack her with Quartz. Also, I didn't know how the mechanic works. And then we enter the third phase, which is exactly the same shit but with other bosses. The red glowing ones are bosses, the ones in the back are normal enemies. The orb touches the center, that's where we know to deploy our operators, and we start killing him. I like how the floor 3 boss has millions of health, it's kind of funny. Or maybe not millions, definitely at least 1 million. Considering the numbers we're working with. Yes, Perfumer just survived being shot by the boss, while Sarkaz Casterx kept her bound. Don't worry about it. We have very few items here. Definitely not an absurdly overpowered run that just stats check everything. So, basically you just want to kill the bosses, and because they steal the most lives, and then DPS Amiya with what damage you have left over as she goes through these stages. Once you actually properly kill her, she will transition into a different form, which as far as I can tell is just for cinematic purposes and doesn't do anything. You can see how we're barely killing her here, and then she turns into an egg. Egg Mia is here, and now she dies faster because she's lost a bunch of stats. I'm not sure if this egg even does anything. I assume if you don't kill it in some time window you just die. That would make sense to me. And once you actually kill it, she very cinematically kills everything on the stage, and then you win.